Hey guys, well, as you can see, we're on a Commanche Bluff trail. There's supposed to be a trail museum and a rest trailhead, but according to the All Trails map, it's just a straight trail to a back, 7.4, 7.8, something like that. Now, this is interesting. Well, we see where the brochures rent. No eggs. Alright, let's go on ahead and get started. And this is it's a windy day today, but the temperatures are decent. It's going to stay in the 70s. There's a couple bridges here, and I can see the framework of one. They're old metal bridges, so I look forward to going across them. As I said, I see one. They have mentioned, a lot of people had left comments on the All Trails app about this trail, saying that it's best to go when it hasn't rained because it's muddy. Others said it's good to go after it's rained because it's muddy and it's fun. So it's kind of a mixed bag, what people have said. So for me, we'll see. It hasn't rained for a while now. We've gone without rain for about a week. Somebody had walked up in there. You can see a trail. Somebody walked up in there. That could actually be a deer path. Maybe a deer walked through there a lot. Deer path. A lot of times you'll find that. This isn't a state park or anything. It's a park, but it's not a state park or anything. It's just they do allow like RVing, and there's a price for it. They've got campgrounds, so there's a price. But it's only if you're doing camping. Here's another trail. Now, I'd say these are possibly deer trails. It goes down there too. Look here. Wow. Yeah, I'd say they are just deer trails. Deer trails are interesting though. When I used to dig herbs in Kentucky with my ex, a lot of times I would choose to walk a deer trail to where we was going to dig. So here we are, we're at the one bridge. Have they got it gated off? Authorized personnel only. So I've got to walk beside it, okay? They've got a trail going along beside it. The Haunting of Hoxie Bridge. Ooh. Erected at the turn of the century over the San Gabriel River 3.5 miles east of Circleville, the Hoxie Bridge was washed 300 yards downstream during the devastating 1921 flood. In November 1921, Austin Brothers was awarded a contract to reconstruct the bridge, and a team of convict laborers was sent from Huntsville to perform the work. According to local legend, one of the prisoners, reputed to have been a troublemaker, was shot in the head by a guard. The mutilated body was hung from a tree as a grisly warning against further trouble at the work site. A cruel death, no burial. Perhaps these were the reasons that the prisoner's headless ghost haunted the Erie River bottom east of the Hoxie Bridge. Area residents tell tales of lovers and late-night travelers frightened by the apparition on Friday nights during the full moon. Mysteriously, a priest's prayers for the prisoner's soul ended the specter's vigil. After the 1921 reconstruction, the bridge served Williamson County residents until it was dismantled in 1979 by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, who erected it at the present site in 1982. Built with iron trusses and wood planking, the Hoxie Bridge is typical of those constructed in the early 1900s. Very fascinating indeed. So, as it said, this bridge had been washed down by the flood in 1921 and finally, after time, re-erected here. Shame we can't cross it. I would love to walk across it. Shucks it. You know how I am about bridges, folks. That's a bummer. Can't even walk across it. Man. That sucks. I gotta walk alongside it. Man. I was looking forward to walking across it. Maybe the next bridge I can walk. Man, like, you know, if a flood came through, nobody'd be walking this. Hey! This ain't fair. This is not fair. They should at least have a tiny bridge for this. This isn't fair, guys. I would have rather crossed the bridge. Look at this. There ain't no getting across that. Now what? Oh, what am I going to do with you all now? I'm not very sure-footed when it comes to jumping at all. Seriously. Okay, let's see what we can do here. This isn't right. This is cheating. We're supposed to do a long hike here. Oh my gosh. That's not fair. I don't get to cross the bridge, and I don't get to walk the trail. Okay. Let's figure out what we're going to do then. I'll get back with you in a moment. Okay, so I tried to pull the trail up on the all maps, but without service you can't do that. So I'm going to take what I think is the deer trail, and who knows? We'll figure out something. That's just kind of wrong. This is the trail, I'm certain. Okay, so let's go down this way. This might not be a deer trail. I have no clue. We'll just see what's what, right? It just leads down into a bottom, basically. No real trail. Hey, if anything, I'm taking you on an adventure, right? Yeah, this is nothing more than a deer trail, guys. Nothing more than a deer trail. There's briar and everything. Man, why don't they have it open for people to cross the bridge? That's so wrong. Okay, I'll get back with you in a little bit. Okay, so I didn't jump it. I just kind of sort of found a little bit of a ledge, so to speak, that I could step down onto, and I made that. So guess we go down here. Yeah, that's a shame about that old bridge. Not able to cross it, being forced to try to get across the flowing ditch. Be okay if the ditch was dry, then you could step onto the ditch bed. But, alright. Maybe the second so-called bridge, because there's supposed to be two bridges. Maybe the second one I could cross. No problem. Oh, like look here. They provide a plank if this has got water. How wrong. They couldn't have put that plank across that ditch. I'll not complain about it. Anyway. I even ran up to hubby and told him about the situation. He had looked up another trail that's about 4 miles from here that we could have gone to. I told him, I said, yeah, give me a chance. I'm going to go back down and study it. I don't like being defeated, you know? I don't like having to change plans when I've already got myself set to do something. I really don't like doing that. It appears that they've got picnic tables up here. Sheltered tables. I'd seen one a little back. There's deer trail all through here. So I take it that the deer travel through here a lot. There used to be asphalt here. Wonder what it was originally. It's all broken up and stuff. Alright. Anyway, on the All Trails map, it reads that this is the Granger Trail. Granger Lake Trail or something like that. But as you saw, the sign read Commanche Bluff Trail. This recently down here it flooded. You can see all the broken down trees and logs. It washed down. The lake had washed down. We're at the lake now. It washed down and caught there. That's all the debris. We're going to get a nice view of the lake over here. Kind of a mess down there. But here we've got the lake. We'll walk down this little path right here. I can imagine this would be a good fishing lake. But as you can see, it's kind of broke off. It was even deeper than that, but it is up a little. So that's a good sized lake. It's pretty big. Alright. Yeah, that's a pretty good sized lake. Looks even bigger than what my camera's showing. Seriously. Oh, don't want to hit that. See these? Yeah, those are thorn. They're not branches, they're thorn. These are very vicious trees. Used to have a few of them at my house in Kentucky before we cut them down. You would go to grab one, not thinking it was one of those kind of trees, and it was painful. Like this. They're very mean. Very mean. You gotta watch out for them. Apparently they don't come through here and take care of the trails. That's what it kind of looks like. They took the time out though to give you mile markers, but not the time to like trim up the brush, keep it out of the path. Oh well. Or to put a plank over the ditch because they don't want you crossing their precious bridge. Yeah, I'm a little ornery about that. I'm just disappointed. I love bridges. That one would have been awesome to walk across. Yeah, at least I'm getting to show you the trail now though. I told hubby if I wasn't back in 20-30 minutes then I made it across. So yeah, I just can't jump like that. I can't. And I even looked at it closer. I wouldn't want to take a chance. I just can't jump like that. I can't. Unfortunately. There's all kinds of drain-offs. But they look more like trails because they keep coming from these picnic areas up there. So I don't even know if I showed the shelter to you and so I didn't look through the viewfinder. Sorry. Another wood plank here across the little ditch. If it's a flowing, where is the plank for the main ditch? Really? Folks, come on. If that was flowing right there, could definitely jump over that. But no, I gotta act on ladylike to get across that little gully. Okay, I'm done being a snot. And just enjoy the walk, guys. As you can tell, it's a slender path. It's not a broad path. And as I'd said, it's supposed to be a to and back. So, we have now done 0.4 miles. 0.4. In other words, we haven't made a mile mark yet. But yeah, this is a very little trail. Skinny. It's not hard to hike, at least once you get across that one little ditch. It's not so far. As you could tell, it is windy. I might have to start talking a little louder, but it was supposed to be windy today anyway, and since we're next to the lake, it makes it that much more windy. It's a good thing the temperature is nice though. It's not raining, it's not cold, it's actually pleasant, so that makes it good. Okay, the wind has died down a little. Now I don't have to yell at you, at least for now. You can hear the lake splashing against the shore with the wind. It's kind of a relaxing sound if you just sit and listen. Pleasant, isn't it? So yeah, as you can see, it's not all that rough of a trail. We've got a little bit of an incline here. I didn't even see what the elevation is. I don't think it was much. We're coming up to 0.5. We're at a half mile now. All right. I'll get right back with you in a little bit. I had to switch phones. I was anticipating that my video phone was about to die, and so I wanted to go on ahead and transfer phones while it still had some battery life in it. And sure enough, it was down to just 25%. So, but the good news is soon I'm going to be getting a new battery for it. That is on the agenda. So means I'll be able to do long footage for you again without changing phones. But the really nice thing about my phone is it does great with videos, and when I transfer it and do the edit and cut, you can't tell which phone done what, except of course when it cuts out the first part of my words, because my video phone, that's just rude, folks, okay? This is a park. Get nice. As it goes, my video phone doesn't have a sound before it starts recording, whereas the phone does. So when I start to record on this phone, I have to keep in mind to give it a second before I start talking because of that sound. Because if I start talking as soon as I hit the play button, the record button, it cuts off part of what I'm saying. So, anyway, yeah, it's on the agenda to get the battery replaced on my video phone, and then I'll be able to do longer clips without changing phones. Yay! It'll make it better. Make it easier on me. And I just want to say, I know that I've got it at the end of my video saying thank you for my supporters, but I'm going to say it now. Today's video is made possible through my supporters like you who have contributed financially. Thank you. It made a big difference for today's video, a big difference. And I so appreciate it. Thank you. The trail isn't too awful windy. And it's just a little hilly. And it's real graveled. Even though some people complain that it was muddy. But so far I haven't seen any areas where it's muddy. Other than on that bottom where I had to try to get across. Yeah, they've got it pretty well graveled. And some of the areas is the natural rock. So, look here at this bottom. There's a big flood. Don't wonder how long ago that was. Tons of driftwood right there. I'd say it really made the lake huge like that. Like I said, there's supposed to be 2 bridges here. So I don't know if I'm going to come across the second bridge or not. Or if it's gated off as well or what. But somebody said there was 2 bridges in the comments. Or it mentioned it in the description. I saw it though, somewhere on it, but the 2 bridges, 2 metal bridges, so I don't know. But I will tell you this, 7 miles is a long track, and I'm not going to have you see a video that long. Oh, once again, they got a wood plank here. And some more trash. Folks, really? Oh my gosh. Won't anybody at least come through and get those bags? You know, most generally, I like to say whether or not I recommend a park. I'm going to tell you simply, the trail itself is nice. It's nice. And if you don't mind putting up with having to jump a ditch and seeing the bags of trash that I just flashed to you, and then yeah, go on ahead and come here, Granger, Texas. But if you prefer more scenic routed trails that's cleaner, then I don't recommend this one. And some people had mentioned that they'd seen trash along the way. And one person had said that when the lake is up, it washes trash ashore. And that's true. But there shouldn't be trash strung around a park anyway. That's wrong. And people needs to be kind and considerate. Be respectful to the fact that there's other folks that walks these places and not just them. It does allow dogs, but they got to be on a leash. And you can bicycle this, but there's no horseback or motor vehicles. The trail is well paved, so that's a plus right there. And there's some variance, which is good. We're up to 0.8, almost at a mile. But yeah, as you can see, there's some variance. So if you want a little bit of a calorie burn, fat burn, got a little bit of a one here on this trail. A little bit one. Enough to get me huffing and puffing. I done a good hike yesterday. I was just going to stay on the flat trail, but I went on ahead and took a little bit of a slope trail. That way I got a little bit of variance in and slowly worked myself back up to the point of being able to walk these. We've got open field now. It's almost like we came to the top of a hill. Hard to tell where that goes. So it gets to be a little bit more open here and not so treed in. There is a lot of cacti here. Whole lot of cacti. A lot of it's dead too, kind of rotted. Seeing that cactus grows in dry areas anyway, I'm not quite understanding the dare it's odd where you'll see a deer path. Anyway, it's odd to see these cacti in these rocky, dry areas like this. They've got this bridge open. Thank you. I get to cross one. Ah! Anyway, it's a little hard for me to see why that the cacti is like dead, rotted. I don't know, maybe Texas gets too much rain for the cacti, but during the summer we're dry, so I really don't get it. Alright, let's see what this sign reads. I'm so glad we get to cross that one. Yay! Friendship Bridge on Rillis Creek. Since the earliest days in Williamson County's history, bridges have been important. The Blackland Prairie, with its deep stream channels and muddy banks, made travel difficult. The first bridges were low and not built to withstand high water. In the 1880s, stronger iron structures with higher abutments replaced the early bridges and permitted effective all-weather transportation. An iron truss and wood plank bridge could be bought for less than $500. Hey, that's pretty cheap, but you gotta consider when that was. The improved bridges allowed the development of cash cropping in the early 1900s because producers could move crops easily to railheads. This bridge was originally constructed on Rillis Creek around the turn of the century. It was destroyed in September 1921 by a devastating flood which swept the county, causing severe loss of lives and property. The bridge was reconstructed and used until it was dismantled and moved to its present location by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers in 1982. Reconstructed and used. Just like the Hoxie Bridge, or Hoxie Bridge. So they both were destroyed by the 1921 flood. That must have been a really bad flood. They don't even have a gate to begin with on this one. But this one is shorter. The other one's longer. But I'm so glad they don't have us walking alongside it. Even though I could have jumped that. Isn't that just wrong? They should have the other one open. They really should. They should have the other one open. But I'm getting to walk on one. Oh. Yeah, the other one would have been fun. It's so much longer. Can you imagine though this bridge being driven on? Honestly, both of them were driven on back in the early 1900s. It would have been a single file bridge, which means you would have had to wait to get across. Oh, look here. They provide planks if it's too slippery. That's nice. I don't know, maybe someone should have a talk with them and tell them to put a plank up across that deep ditch. Since they provided crossing elsewhere. Something pressing in my palm. I don't think it's that sticker. It's harder than that. So, according to that marker, I've got 1/10 to go before I've hit a mile. There isn't very much to see here, as you can tell. Not a whole lot of anything really. But supposedly there's a trail museum and like something. We're now at a mile. No, the trail museum, that must have been up on that one point past the bridge that I didn't walk up. That might have been it. That would have made it about right, because I think it read it was like 0.4 or something. So it might have been it. So when I head back, if I remember, I'll go up there and I'll see that building and I'll see if that's the trail museum or not. If it is, I'll do a short in there as well, if it's open, if I can get in. And but there was something else that said 4.5 miles, which is way up here. I don't remember now what it read. It's something though. So if there is anything for me to show yous, I will get right back with yous. That's neat. Kind of made a bowl. That looks like a bowl. I'd say that fills up with water. They're just a bunch of little trees growing on one root. Cute. As you can see, we have got leaves coming out on the trees. So before long, these trails are going to be more green and less visible, so to speak. I love the green of spring though. Trail bridge up here, which is pretty long, but you can see we've got a ditch. So definitely appreciated. Yep, but the railing is a little weak, so it's not all that new of a bridge. Oh, we've got a walker ahead. All right. They've got both female and male bathrooms. And then at 1.4 miles, they have got a second point with bathrooms, male and female. So at least they provide bathrooms. I do not know if they're okay. A washout. They bothered to put fence up. Anyway, I don't know if the bathrooms have working toilets or if they're the old-fashioned toilets. I've not checked it out. Okay, well, that's interesting. On all trails, it didn't show that there was a branch off. So they got 420. I don't know. It's possible that other end went to part of the parking lot. Because, like I said, on all trails it said it was a to and back. And there wasn't any branch off trails. It was just one single trail. So I don't know. Well, at least someone bagged up their dog stuff, even if they left it on the side of the trail. But that's better, in a way. Anyway, we'll just keep on this way, and we'll see what's what. So I have got plenty of water. I've got 2 little bottles. Well, they're not little. They're 16.9s. And I've got my big, I think it's a 36 ounce, something like that. So I'm good with water. But I kind of went against my rule of having long pants. I'm wearing my Crocs. And when I went on that deer trail, I scratched my leg just a little. But my long Jims are in the washer, and so didn't get them washed last night. Oh well. But I'd just done laundry, you know. And then I wore those yesterday. This is an old one. No rail. So I am the last marker I saw. I think I was at 1.6. I think. So I've not come all that far yet. There's a lot of little hills. Okay, I'm now at 1.8. There's a marker. Anyway, there's a bunch of little hills, and then there's open fields, and Now the trail is just somewhat grown up on the sides, but I don't think it was made for large traffic. I don't think it was made for that. So therefore, the reason for it to be a narrow trail. Some of the hills have been just steep enough to kind of take my breath, and then this has grown up a little, and then it would level out and I'd be able to catch my breath again. So it's a good trail, especially if you just really want an exercise. Now here they didn't provide a plank, and it's a mess. Very funny. Okay. Okay, no problem. I got that. Didn't walk through it. I got that. Not bad. Oh, look at this sloppy dup. And they provide a plank there. Okay, I'm gonna turn yins off just for a moment. Okay, got across it. And now they provide a bridge. What kind of place is this? If you want oddity, this is the place to come to. Oh my gosh. Oh. Wow. Don't know what to say. I'm enjoying the hike anyway. But that's just me. I like to walk in any place, as long as it's long and adventurous. That's me. Got another hill. I'm going to be huffing and puffing here in a little bit. One more 10th. And it'll be 2 miles. This is a washout here. Apparently it was a flooded bottom. Whew. I've worked up a decent sweat, so it's been a pretty good walk. I'll catch my breath here. I did remember to put my Under Armour on, so I look forward to seeing what kilometers I've accumulated for this one. I'm not even at 200 kilometers yet. I'm at 180 something kilometers so far at 22 or 23 workouts. And there's still like 304 days left in the challenge. Will I make the 1100 kilometers? I don't know. I keep managing to average about 4 miles every time I turn it on. That's not getting very far at all. That's slowly accumulating the kilometers. If I was doing 6 miles at an average, then it would add up a lot faster. But the good news is there's still over 300 days left in the challenge, so who knows, I might do it. It'd be awesome. I would love to run a challenge like this, I really would. But I don't get out there and walk enough. But seeing that the temperatures are going to start warming up and more decent weather ahead, who knows, I might be able to really start picking up and get the kilometers in for that challenge. I just hit the 2 mile marker. So, yeah, I might make it this year if I really pick up the pace and start going out more. So, alright, if there's anything else to say or see, I'll certainly get right back with you. We're right back to the lake again, but I'm not quite sure what part of the lake it is. Oh my, this is horrible. This is outright horrible. They even dumped their television. This is horrible. This is regular street trash. This isn't just somebody bagging up their cans and bottles from a picnic. That's disgusting, folks. Seriously. In a park. How'd they even get that kind of trash out here anyway? That's an awful lot of a haul. There's more trash up here too, in bags. What the heck? They had mentioned about there being trash, but this is ridiculous. This is tires. Tires. Okay. This is crazy, folks. This is absolutely crazy. This is ridiculous. This is a park. A public park for walking. What's up with this? This isn't just tires that's washed up on shore. These have got rims. Look at that. That's got pretty deep tread. What the hey? Seriously, folks. This kind of reminds me of the bottom of the Woodway Park, where debris washed up onto the trail from flooding. That's what this reminds me of. But even that doesn't have that kind of trash. That's just crazy. That's ridiculous. That's sad, folks. Come on. Show more respect than that for community parks. Honest. Show more respect than that. Okay, I now have what? Okay, not only does these trails give you an exercise, they also try your ability at gymnastics. Alright, I'll get back with you in a moment. They had the pipe there so the trail would walk across it, but apparently the creek just washed it all out, as you can see. So, and then there's that fallen tree, but I got there. All right, and now to get on across this muddy area. It's a mess. The mess. It being close to the lake like that, close to the edge, you don't know what you're going to get. And apparently the water's been up pretty high, apparently, at one point. So, all right. I just hit the marker of 2.9. I'm coming upon 3 miles. I don't know that I'm going to be able to hike a full 7, because you also got to go, you got to turn around and go back. That would be over 14 miles. I'm going to try to push as far as I can. I'm running out of battery on this phone as well, plus I've got the Under Armour running, and I do want to be able to record as much of my track as possible. So I'm going to go on ahead and say goodbye. I'm going to travel as far as I can before I turn around. Well, on the whole part, students have seen what kind of trail this is. It changes scenery, and it does stay narrow. You've seen trashy areas, clean areas, rough areas, neat areas. I will say this, if you really don't care what you see, then yeah, this trail's okay. I do not recommend it to the onshore footed and to the elder. I do not recommend it. And at one point, this was actually somebody's property. There's a gate here. Wow. At one time, there were trash up here, which is just so wrong. Anyway, yeah, unless you really don't care what you see, and if you're athletic or just daring, then this is a trail to go. But on the whole part, I really wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I don't leave comments on the trails on all trail unless the trails are worthy of something being mentioned. I'm definitely going to be giving this trail a comment and rating. I wouldn't come back to it myself. I wouldn't. The diversity of the trail itself is good for a good workout, for good exercise. You've got your ups and your downs, so you've got your highs and lows, which is good for escalating the heart rate and all that. Good calorie burn. But that's about the only thing that this trail is good for. Other than that, it's not a pleasant thing to really look at. But I appreciate you guys. You all are so awesome. I've got wonderful friends, and I appreciate everyone's support. If you're just viewing for the first time, or if you're a subscriber, or if you're a financial supporter, you all are just so terrific. And I love yous from the bottom of my heart. I love yous. Now I hope that you all have a wonderful day. I would like to thank all my supporters on Patreon and BitChute. The funds are greatly appreciated. and they go towards supporting the great walks where I show off parks and attractions. If you would like to be a supporter also, then you can do so through Patreon. The links are left below the videos in the description box. Or if you would like to on BitChute, you can do so by subscribing to me on BitChute and go through PayPal. And I thank you in advance.